Splash meets the Killer Tomatoes. Oh, hey. So, it's that time of year again. It's Black Friday time, and bit of a record-setting year for myself personally. Hopefully also a year, or at least a record, I should say, that won't be exceeded. So hopefully this is the top, and it's not. We all know it's not. Anyway, you read the title, and you gotta be asking yourself at this point, what kind of person spends over $1,000 on movies? Surely, this kind of person right here, right? Is that the same kind of person who would buy, like, a Ring watch? Like, maybe they saw a killer deal on a Ring watch, and they're like, hey, I used to have a Ring watch. Those were pretty cool back in the day, right? And, maybe that's like a deal hunter type person. Maybe that's the kind of person that's like, hey, this Ring watch was really cheap. Maybe I should get 2 Ring watches. Maybe that kind of person? Maybe the kind of person that's like, we've already got 2 fingers covered. I mean, might as well go all the way with this thing, right? I mean, Infinity Wars and whatnot, they weren't Infinity Ring watches, but, I mean, if you buy 1 Ring watch, you this is what you're thinking of, right? You're thinking of, what if I had watches on every single finger? At least that would be what I would be thinking of. And you might also be thinking, you did one hand, you might as well do both at this point. I mean, you're in it to win it on Ring watches at this point, right? Is this a look right here? I gotta take these off because they're actually cutting off the circulation in some of my fingers. For those of you here, just for the boutiques, you can jump to this time code right here. It will jump past the more mainstream stuff like Best Buy, Big Lots, Dollar Tree. And, one step even further this year, if there's a specific seller of boutique Blu-rays or Blu-rays in general that you want to check out, here is an index of every company mentioned in this video and where you can jump to if you want to jump just to that company. Just like last year, I'm going to keep a running total here in one of the corners, and unlike last year, I'm actually going to make the editing a little more streamlined. Alright, and starting off with Dollar Tree, first one on the list is Power Kids. I bought this because it says Die Hard with Kick-Ass Kids. It's an Asian movie made in Thailand. Thought it might be interesting for $1. Everything, by the way, from Dollar Tree is, of course, going to be $1. You really can't go wrong. I mean, or can you? And the next one up is with Heather Graham. That's why I bought this. My Dead Boyfriend. I've had luck here lately with zombie girlfriends, so I thought maybe this Dead Boyfriend might be interesting. I kind of don't think it's going to be a horror movie, but, Heather Graham, kind of have a soft spot for her ever since Boogie Nights. Up next is Jackal, generic horror movie. I bought it because it was a Scream Factory release, so Jackals, maybe? Korean war film that rented Liam Neeson for the day, Operation Chromite. It had a slipcover to DVD. Maybe. It might be good. Before I get to these next couple, I feel like I have to explain a little bit. I like to put bad comedies on in the background while I'm doing other things, and as such, I know these are not going to be good, but I like bad comedies. Bad mainstream comedies with big actors. I enjoy them, even if I know in a certain part of my brain that they're trash. And with that, The House with Will Ferrell. There's Fist Fight with Charlie and Ice Cube. There's Chips with Kristen Bell's husband and the guy from Ant-Man. And then for the most part, you really can't go wrong with any Jackie Chan movie. I got First Strike for $1. Steal of a Deal. I remember watching this when I was a kid and really enjoying it. I think it is actually Police Story Part 4, if I'm not mistaken. Missed this one completely the first time around. Queen of the Damned. The digital code that expired half a decade ago still worked out of here, by the way. Now, last year I bought a ton of really terrible horror movies, like grade Z monster movies that were just painful to watch. And I tried this year not to do that as much, but for $1, here's 8. The 8-film collection horror binge pack. Dean Cain as the headliner in one of these. Got a Batman Superman double feature here. I really got it for Batman vs. Dracula, which I thought would be fun. Of course, I saw that it's on HBO Max right after I bought it. I guess really everything from DC is on HBO Max, isn't it? So you got to think to yourself, is it even worthwhile at this point to be buying DC? I mean, for $1 maybe, but are you going to buy their 4K releases for $20 when they're going to be on HBO Max for free? Also picked up a couple Scooby-Doo movies. Now, they had a ton of different ones of these, so I just decided to go with the ones that kind of had Universal Monster tie-ins as maybe being the ones that might be the most interesting, maybe? Also, remember when they had video games you could play on your DVD player? Yeah, nobody does. but they had those. Here's a Harry Potter one. Harry Potter game you can play on the remote control on your DVD player. We'll see how terrible that is. Another kind of generic horror movie, Intruders. I actually saw this one a few years back. It's a decent, low-budget zombie comedy. Stalled is about a guy kind of trapped in a restroom stall during a zombie outbreak at an office party. It's kind of fun. Couldn't recommend it for a higher dollar amount. For $1, get it, for sure. Stalled. Also, it's not just the stuff that people don't want that they have at Dollar Tree. They've actually got amazing movies too. I got The Road Warrior. This is an upgrade for me over my VHS copy. I mean, fun to finally get rid of that. And then the last one from Dollar Tree, I only bought it because I have the first one. I know it's gonna be bad. Like, really, really, really bad. And that's Joe Dirt 2. So I know. Just stay with me. There's cool stuff later. I swear. Next up is Big Lots. A pretty good place to find killer deals on interesting movies in the past. Not so much lately. Most of the stuff I found this year was okay-ish. I probably didn't even need to buy it, if I'm going to be honest. And in fact, one of the titles that I did find, I later saw at Dollar Tree. So I was like, ugh. First up, my only Blu-ray from Big Lots, and that is Kill Katie Malone, also starring Dean Cain. I'm going to have a Dean Cain movie marathon, it would seem. Next, did we say less terrible monster movies? Well, here's 4 more. $1.88, just a pretty good price for what? Robo-Croc and Supertanker, Dranko, Dead Sea. Sure, that's going to kill some brain cells. Gangsters, Guns, and Zombies, that's going to be terrible. Almost didn't pick this one up. This one was actually a full price, not a Black Friday title, but I really liked this embossed cover. Had Robert Englund in it. Thought I'd give it a shot. Additionally, another full price, not Black Friday title from them, Cutie Honey. This looks like a movie that was a live action movie made off an anime, and sometimes those can be just hilariously bad, so I had to pick up Cutie Honey. Conan the Adventurer, the TV cartoon. I didn't even know this was a thing. I have all the other Conan movies, so I figured I had to get this. Maybe I can get my daughter to watch this, right? Maybe? And as much as I say I try to stay away from bad monster movies, there are a few categories where it's no holds bar. And one of those is Bigfoot. Here is Bigfoot, The Lost Coastal Tapes. And I mean, at these price points, they're all pretty much sub $3. Can't go wrong. Here's a couple I bought just because they're tartan Asian extreme titles, and this line has really done well for me in the past, so I didn't read anything about them. I just bought them based on the DVD label. Here's that one I mentioned seeing at Dollar Tree. It's a Bruce Lee documentary. I for sure passed up this one in the past, but for $1.88, I finally decided to give Count Yorga a try. We'll see how it goes. The cover art, not very inspiring. In fact, if they'd used the pictures here on the back as the cover art in the front, I would have been much more likely to have picked this up in the past. Toxin, undoubtedly a terrible zombie movie. And to round out Big Lots, another title I feel like I have to explain a little bit. Ever since I canceled cable, I've been really into things that, not really into it, kind of into things that I can put on in the background while I'm doing other stuff. Crackling Fireplace. I got some Japanese train movies. So I thought Pet Party might be one of those. I just put that on in the background, be walking by, doing the laundry, be like, Hedgehog. Also with Big Lots, I had like a $10 off coupon, so that made all of these even cheaper. And that brings us to Best Buy with our most mainstream titles. Here they are in no particular order. Obviously the first one, not mainstream at all. The Farewell, I bought it because I am a sucker for the certified fresh sticker on anything. I'll give anything a shot if it's got the certified fresh sticker on it, especially if it's an Asian movie. Remember seeing the preview of this one several times, thinking it might be fun yesterday. Thought I'd give that a go. I think I just bought this because I was in a buying frenzy. It looks terrible. Vin Diesel shoots blood bullets at people. Why did I buy this? Had all the other Rob Zombie movies, figured I had to check out 3 from Hell on 4K. 1917, this is one of the few I've actually already gotten a chance to watch. This was really good. Fantastic story about a trip through the landscape of World War One. Man, that made me sound really old. Additionally, in the whole competing collections thing, I had all the other View Askew universe stuff. Figured I'd give Jay and Silent Bob Reboot a shot. Kind of seemed like no matter what you thought about the movie, it was mandatory for pretty much everybody to buy this one on Black Friday. Not my favorite Joker movie, but an interesting rendition of the character. Terminator Dark Fate, gonna be controversial here. I liked Salvation a little better than this one. And for the kiddo, had to pick up a little Sonic the Hedgehog in 4K. Got the first one, needed the second one, Chapter 2. Came so close to buying this on the German 3D release, but man, $50 compared to, what I actually spent on this, I couldn't bring myself to do it, especially since the movie doesn't look to be super amazing, but hopefully at some point I can get the 3D version, assuming I like it enough to rebuy it again. A little fairy tale horror movie, Gretel and Hansel. Not the biggest Guy Ritchie fan, but the trailers for the new film looked fun. In fact, this might be the one I actually put on to watch tonight right after I film this. I think I'm kind of feeling this one right now. Another collection completer. I have the first two, had to get the third one. It's because I have a daughter. That's why I bought this. Yeah. I actually like the Ron Perlman ones. I was kind of disappointed they didn't bring him back for this one, but who knows? Maybe this will be awesome, the new Hellboy. Of course, I subscribed to HBO Max right after I bought this, so I didn't really need to buy it. But anyway, Watchmen, I really liked the movie. Hands down, one of DC's best. So this will be a fun expansion on that universe. Heard some positive praise for Ready or Not. Also, horror movies, I'm the target audience for that. And again, even though I have HBO Max now, I bought another superhero DC film, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. It was pretty cheap, as you can see, so not much loss there. This movie I've been waiting for a deal on ever since it came out. Really wish Criterion had been the one to put out the 4K. I really wish Criterion would actually get on the 4K horse finally. But, oh well, non-Criterion 4K release of Parasite. Next up is one of my new favorite movie clearinghouses, and that is Hamilton Book. From them, I picked up the Scream Factory release of Mad Max, Upgrade for Me from the DVD. Also, the out-of-print and going for $100 everywhere else, Invasion of the Body Snatchers with a slipcover. Definitely check out Hamilton Books. That's out of stock now, but keep checking them out in the future. Accidentally double bought this. I fashioned myself as a bit of a 3D completist. Somebody's getting this for Christmas. Don't know anything about this movie. Looks to be very up my alley though, and especially, at a price like that, I thought I'd give it a shot. I'm a big sucker for horror retrospectives, and VHS Massacre feels like it's gonna fall into that category for me. I am a little apprehensive because it's a Troma release, but VHS Massacre, I'm sure it'll be great. Additionally, one of those things I really enjoy is those cheesy 80s kind of monster puppet movies. So this kind of more recent, inspired by those film Ghastlies, of course invoking something along the lines of Ghoulies, seems like it might be something up my alley. We'll see. Ghastlies. Next up is Sentai Filmworks. Now, I'm not a huge anime fan, but every now and then I will delve in, especially if something gets talked about a ton. One of the things that did get talked about several years ago, and I bought, never watched, was Parasite. Not the Korean one, but the Japanese alien invasion thing creatures one. I bought that. I finally watched it this Halloween, or depending on when you're watching this, last Halloween. But the one I bought was only half of this series. So this year, I did get the other half of the series, part 2 for Parasite. Now, here comes the rub. There is a minimum shipping requirement for this website. Not requirement, but you'd have to pay money for shipping, and that really kills the deal. I probably shouldn't have bought random stuff to get up to that level of free shipping, but there's something about it. I can't pay money for shipping. So I went through their other sales stuff, picked out a few random things. First I looked at the live action things, picked up anything that seemed halfway not terrible. We'll see about that. Archangels, Cool Dimension, And then there really wasn't anything else I didn't already have that was live action. So I looked at their anime stuff. Total complete shots in the dark just to reach minimum free shipping threshold. I got Made in Abyss and the Perfect Insider complete collection. Both bought just because the covers were kind of interesting. You got a labyrinthine thing over here. You got post-apocalyptic thing going over here, maybe? Next up is MVD. This was one of my favorite sales last year. You know, they kind of across the board raised the prices this year, so I didn't buy as much as I figured I was going to. I really enjoyed watching several of their Rewind collections this year and was planning on stocking up a lot more than I actually did. I kind of got just a minimum amount, again, to get free shipping. I got that 90s classic Double Dragon, another VHS upgrade Split Second with Kim Cattrall and Rutger Hauer. Great movie. The first Venom movie, really. Wind Rider? I don't know. It had Nicole Kidman. I thought I'd give it a shot. Clay Pigeons with Telly Savalas. That looks good. Telly Savalas, whenever he's in stuff, it always seems to be an interesting movie. Also picked up Life After Flash. Flash Gordon retrospective, maybe? About the main actor. He didn't really do a whole bunch after Flash, did he? He was in Ted 2, yeah?
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
And another one that's going to be bad, I know, but The Rift. I am a sucker for kind of more down-to-earth science fiction horror movies. Or say science fiction horror movies that actually use NASA and the space program, like Apollo 18 and the Europa Report. First year shopping experience with Ronin Flix this year. They had some films that were borderline deals, enough for me to put in the minimum order to get free shipping. Additionally, the free shipping was calculated on the pre-sale price of the movie, so I actually paid less than $50 with everything applied. First one up is In the Aftermath, one of those depressing post-nuke films that, I don't know, I kind of enjoy these from the 80s. I don't know why. I enjoy being bummed out, I guess, just like everybody else. Night of the Cobra Woman. I actually thought this was Cobra Woman with Laura Gimser, but I'm sure this is going to be similarly as interesting. Land of Doom. Post-apocalyptic, Road Warrior-inspired Italian cheese fest. Haven't seen it, looking forward to it. Additionally, I recently watched the Scream Factory Blu-ray that had the 2 Curse films on it, and I've had the Curse 3 on my wish list to buy for a while. Never really seen it at a great price. I think that's actually why I put in the order from Ronin Flix to begin with. It's because I wanted to get the Curse 3. So, Curse 3 Blood Sacrifices with Christopher Lee. That brings us to Epic Pictures. I placed an order with them last year for the first time and had quite a lot of fun with a lot of their completely blind buy horror movies. I did that similarly again this year. First one is Assassinaut. For the name alone, right? Next one, I actually bought this movie last year, but I bought the slipcover this year. I don't know why. Vinegar Syndrome made me think this was okay to buy slipcovers after the fact. As far as slipcovers go, this is super duper flimsy. Not worth the $5 upgrade at all. Can't recommend that you buy slipcovers from Epics. Keep buying them from Vinegar Syndrome, but not worth it. Also, not including this in the total because I didn't actually buy the movie. Another name-only purchase, Uncle Peckerhead? Justin Long and a Color Out of Space color scheme made me pick this one up. I think this was a free shipping threshold purchase, The Fair. And additionally, there was a Jewish horror movie 2-pack, The Golem and Jerusalem. Consider my interest peaked on those. Another first-time shopping experience this year with Scream Team releasing. I've been eyeing Dubro Massacre 3 for quite some time. Finally decided to pick it up. Also, free shipping threshold. I had to get a few more, right? I had heard a few things good about the witching season, and also a little bit of positive word of mouth about The Barn. Now that did not get me to the free shipping threshold, so I had to get one more title. Bought it on title and cover alone, and that was The Cyborgs. Last new boutique shopped at this year was Cult Epics. This is the first year I've ever bought anything from Cult Epics, and the reason I did is because there was no free shipping minimum on their orders. Now, their titles, as you can tell by the price that'll pop up when I hold up the title, I don't know why I pointed so soon, that it's a little bit higher on the movie, but not having the free shipping threshold, I could just buy one thing, made me pick up at least one thing from them, and that's what I did. I got Death Laid an Egg. I know nothing about this. It was just something intriguing about the Giallo-esque title. And as I can tell on the back, it's definitely an Italian movie, so that will be a fun watch. Hopefully, maybe. And now we're down to the last two. Second to last is Severin. I bought a couple of things from Severin that weren't movies, not included in the title, but I thought I'd mention them here. One of them is this shirt for a movie I bought last year, Death Warmed Up. I haven't watched Death Warmed Up yet, so I hope I like it. This shirt was on clearance, so thought I'd pick that up. Additionally, I bought the audiobook of Color Out of Space on cassette tape. I don't know why, but this purple tape just really spoke to me for some reason. Now, as I was looking around my house for tape players to actually play that in, I found several tape players, but only one that could actually play a tape correctly. I guess all the rubber bands in them all have gone bad over the years, and this was the only tape player that I had that could still work, and it's the 2XL, so this is how I'm going to be listening to Color of Space.
French Canadians have tried it. Italians have tried it. And the Poles have come and departed.
That'll be interesting. And for those of you who didn't keep their 2XL, there's also a digital download of MP3s in the box. Severin also had some interesting clearance movies this year. I picked up The Trial of Dracula, From Folklore to Screen. I thought this was going to be a movie, but the more I'm looking at it, the more it looks like it might be a documentary, which I don't think I'm mad at. I think I might be interested in that documentary. Also, Kung Fu Trailers of Fury. And if you're going to get that one, you've also got to get Return of Kung Fu Trailers of Fury. Also got the Badger game. This is not a cover that makes me want to see this movie at all, but it was like I was so close to free shipping. This pushed me just over the top. And I was jazzed when they released the Peanut Butter Solution last year or the year before last, because this is one of those titles that like those VHS collectors have really been seeking after and kind of driving the price up on, so I thought it might be fun to actually see it, and in 2K scan it that way. And perhaps something that I might have fun watching with the daughter. I love this quote at the top up here, Nickelodeon by way of David Lynch. Additionally, they threw in a sticker with that. Been on my to-watch list for a long time. I think I probably overpaid for it during the sale, especially since I had to get the slipcover, but Killer Crocodile and Killer Crocodile 2, is it both movies? Limited bonus Blu-ray disc, Killer Crocodile 2, plus documentary on Special FX Master. So, both Killer Crocodile and Killer Crocodile 2. I actually didn't know I was going to get Killer Crocodile 2, I just knew I was going to get the first one. But I think I overpaid for this one just a little bit. Due to it being one of those things that's been on my Amazon wish lists, looking me in the face over and over and over again over the years. Also, The Beast Must Die. I definitely overpaid for this. I don't know why I spent however much I spent for this. But, you know, it had Peter Cushing in it. And this is one of those movies that I kept seeing at the video store when I was a kid. I never rented it. I always kind of wish I had. I finally get a chance to watch it now. The Beast Must Die. Probably should have waited my 2 or 3 years and got it at a friendlier price, but can I make the free shipping excuse again? Without this, I would have been way too far away from free shipping. It was $100 for free shipping at Severin, and you know that's one of the reasons I didn't buy much from them last year, and I think I didn't buy anything the year before. Their free shipping threshold a little crazy at $100. Hoping to have a lot of fun with the stuff I overspent on though. And we finally reached the end. The boutique Blu-ray studio that maybe put boutique Blu-rays on the map. I don't know if there would really be the market there is now without Vinegar Syndrome. Sure, you'd have Scream Factory, and you'd have weird little ones like Code Red, but I feel like Vinegar Syndrome being a thing has made all these other boutique Blu-ray studios pop up. And as far as quality goes, they are the Apple computers of boutique Blu-rays. They have the highest quality, the best looking containers, maybe not the best stuff inside, but as far as gloss goes, their stuff is super duper glossy. So starting out with Forgotten Golly, Part 2, Volume 2, I realized after I bought this that I didn't actually own Part 1, or Volume 1, and I went back to go place another order, and it sold out as I was putting in my order for this first batch. So now I'm just going to have Volume 2 in a box set, and I'll probably pick up Volume 1 individually, and it's going to look very annoying on my shelf. Next up is Fade to Black, upgrade for me from the VHS tape. This is another movie I already owned. I just got the slipcover for Nightmare Sisters, and as far as slipcovers go, this one is really, I think, worth it. It's really thick, it's really nice. It still feels really weird to be buying slipcovers for movies you already own, but on rare occasions and for movies you like, I'm gonna pick them up. Also, the notion of upgrading Nightmare Sisters, a super trashy 80s movie like Nightmare Sisters. I bought the Blu-ray. I upgraded the Blu-ray with the slipcover, an aftermarket slipcover. I don't know, it was just so bizarre, and the quality is really nice on slipcover. It's not like the slipcover you get from Cult Epics. Yeah, you can get their slipcovers from Vinegar Syndrome. Dimension Occultas. I don't know anything about this, but it looks totally up my alley. Deadly Games, Dial Code Santa Claus. Recommended to me by the host of the Force 5 podcast, and if you've made it this far into this video without turning off, congratulations to people and me in the future. You can listen to me on the Force 5 podcast. I'm on there talking about my top 5 favorite boutique Blu-rays. Cemetery of Terror. Whodunit? Rest in Pieces. Nice reverse on that one as well. One of their secret titles, and one of the ones I was most excited about this year, was Silent Madness in 3D. Well, in 3D, this kind of 3D, and also in like Blu-ray 3D, so you can watch it either way. Bit of a completionist, as I mentioned earlier. On Blu-ray 3D, I feel like I get sucked a little more into the movie when I watch a movie in Blu-ray 3D. I don't know. Probably it's because I don't have the opportunity to check my phone because I've got stupid glasses on. I don't have the opportunity to surf on my computer because I've got stupid glasses on. But for whatever reason, I really love movies in 3D. Silent Madness in 3D. I've heard it's not a great movie, but really interested to watch it. Bad 80s horror movie plus 3D. Yes. Thank you, Vinegar Syndrome. And as part of their fancier archive line, I also picked up Necromancer, Action USA. You can almost guarantee if they really enjoy it or really hate it on Best of the Worst on Red Letter Media, someone's going to release it on Blu-ray in a little while, right? Similarly, I love when they take an older movie and give it this like super 80s like new art. I couldn't say no to Martial Law 1 and 2 because I just loved this cover. Movie's probably gonna suck. Maybe it'll be so bad it's good, hopefully. And here we are, the very end, the very last thing I picked up for Black Friday is, of course, the Beastmaster, the 4K release, and this amazing set right here. I did a video on the DVD versions of the Beastmaster. I'm really excited to check out the special features, see what all this thing has to offer, and this is just so nice for a movie that the Beastmaster to have this kind of collector's 4K release. Vinegar Syndrome, hire me. I would love to work there. And there it is, the total. And again, hopefully this is my high watermark when it comes to Black Friday purchases. I think I went a little overboard this year. I had a little extra free time. I think I overthought things probably a little bit too much. And I probably got a little too impatient when really my watch cycle is probably a lot longer than it should be. I'll definitely watch at least this amount of movies before next Black Friday, but I can guarantee you I won't watch all of these movies before next Black Friday. So hopefully they aren't that much cheaper next year. I guess that's it. Thank you again to now the one person, and me in the future, who has made it to the very end of this video. And as always, thanks for tuning in, and have a great day.